My name is Tanny and I love to cook. Today I'm going to show you how to make an interesting vegetable side dish, acorn squash. Let's get to cooking. Acorn squash is a winter squash that can range in color from yellow, orange to a light green to even a dark green, blackish looking. They're all good and they're all delicious, shaped like an acorn, hence the name acorn squash. So when I bring them home, they're usually about a couple of pounds each, but some are smaller than others. And I wash them off in vinegar and water solution because people probably touch them in the grocery stores and in the fields when they're harvesting. And what I'm going to do with a sharp knife is just slice into it. Now it is round with ridges, so you need to hold it carefully for stability as you cut it because it is a hard squash on the inside. And we're going to season it up and roast it, and then it's going to get very soft and tender on the inside after we cook it. So be very careful as you cut it. And it's a typical squash with seeds in the middle. Looks like pumpkin seeds. You could probably roast these up and make them delicious as well, but I'm just going to discard the seeds here. So I'm scooping them into a bowl just to put to the side. And I cut my squash in half because I'm going to prepare each one slightly different, as you'll see in a moment. So this half I'm actually going to slice into wedges, and you want the outer side to be on the outside of the bottom as you cut it for more stability. It's just a nice presentation to have it in bite-sized pieces. We are going to cook it with the rind on, but you do not eat the skin. So for this one, I'm just going to drizzle with a little bit of organic olive oil, actually both halves. You could use melted butter, but olive oil is nice as we begin the cooking process. And I'm just rubbing it gently onto both sides, all sides of the squash, because all sides will be in the oven roasting. This half I'm going to keep in its half shape. So that would be great for stuffing later, but in this recipe I'm just going to cook them as you see them in the pan. So now that I have them oiled up, I'm going to add some seasoning. So I'm going to add some sea salt. Next up, I'm going to use some pumpkin pie seasoning. This contains nutmeg and cinnamon. If you don't have pumpkin pie spice, then you can certainly use the individual seasonings. The same seasonings you would use to make your candied yams or sweet potatoes. Now I'm going to add some orange blossom honey. I really like the flavor of this. If you're vegan, then you wouldn't use honey. You could use maple syrup. You could also use brown sugar, but in this case, I'm going to use the maple syrup on the half and the honey on the slices. They also make keto-friendly or no sugar added syrups, erythritol syrups. You can certainly do that as well. So now what's up next is I'm going to add a little bit of water from my mason jar into the bottom of the pan as it roasts, just to help it steam under the aluminum foil and to keep the pan from scorching or burning. Yeah, quick and simple. So we're going to cover this with aluminum foil, and here's the brown sugar you can use. We're going to cover this with aluminum foil, and then we're going to roast it in the oven at 400 degrees until it softens. So that will be about 40 to 45 minutes, but you can certainly check it halfway through. Once I bring it out of the hot oven, I add butter. I'm adding a little bit of butter for flavor. I didn't add butter at the beginning because I wanted to add the oil to be a little bit more healthy. And here is the final dish. I drizzled a little extra honey, and it looks and tastes just like sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie.